Hi everyone, my name is Tessa Lee, and today I'm going to do a reflection of my first ever user-centered design course that I took at the University of Washington in October quarter 2016 in the Pecha Kucha style, which means I'll try to keep everything short and to the point. So before I took this UCD class, I was mostly doing software development work in my professional and academic life. And I thought that I had an idea of what UCD meant. Isn't that just making prototypes and asking your friends what they think of your app? Is that really worth 10 weeks of time? Luckily, I was proved wrong. UCD is much more comprehensive than I had thought before. One of the first assignments we did for class was sketching, although I was a little uncertain at first because I only self-taught myself some drawing skills. I was able to quickly get over that lack of creative confidence, and I started to enjoy this way of being creative without worrying about restrictions, and it felt good to finish a whole sketchbook. I have already been using and will keep using my sketching skills in other projects when doing brainstorms or explaining things in general. And for fun stuff as well, like designing your own Halloween props using your sketching. Another part of the class routine was the discussion about UCD papers that we have read. So while I was being a participant, I knew that I definitely want to contribute to the discussion. But during the discussion, I still hesitate about either talking too much or saying things that doesn't make sense. But sitting on the other side of the discussion table as a facilitator made me realize that there is no bad comment or contribution. I've also learned a simple trick to follow up with people during discussions from our instructor Sarah Zubrek, which is to just repeat what the other person has said with a question tone. One of the highlights for my experience in this class was definitely the 4 guest lectures that we had. I enjoyed listening to every one of them. I have learned not only what, but also how they delivered their presentation, from the font they chose for their slides to the activities that they planned for the class, which I can definitely see myself using for my own presentations. Like I said before, 10 weeks is too short for covering everything in UCD. But for now, I have a good understanding of what UCD meant. I have understood its process as a whole, the basic principles, and practiced them on hands-on projects. I feel comfortable enough and feel motivated to explore more topics on myself. At first, we thought we were going to use vending machines to introduce new snacks to users. But once we did some interviews, we soon realized we need to change our direction. We repeatedly heard our users wanting more healthier snacks in vending machines, and this ended up being the problem we decided to tackle. From this, I learned the importance of really listening to your users and finding the real design question. I absolutely loved doing user interviews. I found it to be quite an humbling experience actually, because I have learned that I can never know enough about the users than they do themselves. I have learned not only to listen to what users have said, but also what they didn't say that were expressed through their gestures or facial expressions, and to gently inquire them on that. I have had experience doing digital prototypes before, but this is the first time I'm doing some sort of physical prototype. But I had fun. It's sometimes just nice to stay away from your computer and do some different type of design. Plus, I've learned that with simple paper prototypes, you can gain a lot of insights already. 10 weeks flew by, and there are a lot more we wish we could have done. For example, we would like to create higher fidelity prototypes to test with users, and also interview users with a more diverse background rather than just our schoolmates. If possible, we'd like to have users use the finished product for a while and get their feedbacks again. Like many design work, I had a team while doing this project. I collaborated with 2 other teammates who have different backgrounds from me, and we all contributed to the project in our own way. At times, we would have different opinions, which is unavoidable in any type of teamwork, but eventually we all agreed on a decision that's best for the team. A big part of successful teamwork depends on efficient communication within team members. Our group contacted each other through emails, texts, and comments online, but once in a while some things will get lost, and that had a cost. I've learned this lesson the hard way and will pay more attention to the format of team communication in the future.
Doing documentation might not be the most exciting thing in design, but those are crucial because it keeps a record of what, why, and how you did something, and in turn, that can guide you in your future design. Looking back, we should have done more of this. This is something I should keep in mind of in my future work.
Around midterm time, we give feedback to the class through a third-party member from the school. I really appreciate that our instructor voluntarily asked to do the feedback session, and this motivated me to proactively seek feedback from my peers for school now and for colleagues in the future. Something else I learned from the class is the careful use of your time. This includes spending appropriate amount of time for brainstorming and sketching, leaving time cushion between user interviews, planning for unexpected interruptions in meetings, and of course, keeping your presentation under the time limit.
Also, don't forget to keep an open mind. As the only group in the class that did vending machine redesign, I was surprised to see what my classmates have done in terms of shower or parking redesign. We simply didn't explore those options because early in the quarter we thought, those were not interesting enough, so we passed them.
All this wouldn't be possible without the wonderful instructor Sarah and the TA Katie, and our classmates who came from so many different backgrounds. It's fascinating to see people with such various backgrounds somehow all came to this UCD class and share their expertise and opinions. And this also reflects the interdisciplinary nature of UCD.
Lastly, allow me to conclude my presentation with this cheesy message that I made from my favorite candies. After the educational, fun, and sometimes hectic 10 weeks into user-centered design, I'm sure that I want to dive deeper into this fascinating field. And maybe more importantly, like one of the guests has said, treat everything in life as a design problem.